Ian Hudson, SNP MEP. How significant is this amount of money MEPs have agreed here today for fisheries, given that the aim of the Common Fisheries Policy reform seemed to be very much about ending discards?
Well, a key part of the supposedly reformed CFP will be to eliminate discards, and I support that in principle. But I think that this funding has to put priority, and that has been allowed for today, into assisting with funding of selective gears, for example, and other innovative ways of preventing unwanted catches from being caught and therefore being landed in the first place. And I think that that would be, to me, a far more successful way to approach a discards ban rather than what some around here would like to do, and that is just to land everything and finance stores to keep unwanted fish in. That would just, to me, amount to discards on land as opposed to discards on sea. So I think we want to reduce mortality, target the fish that we can market and that we want, and make sure that there's sufficient quota allowance to do that, and that way we can have viability in our fishing communities.
And as I understand it, MEPs did indeed, as you say, vote for more money for new types of nets and specialist gear and so forth that are able to target fish a bit more specifically. Is that then a big win from your point of view in terms of trying to get down this road of ending discards?
Well, for me, that is a success. It is a good thing that we didn't just blindly follow the idea of having a discard ban and therefore a compulsion to land everything that's caught, only to end up with a problem on shore with unwanted fish. So my strong view would be, and of course it will take time to phase in and to work towards elimination of unwanted catches, but Scotland has got a bit of a start on that. We've had initiatives taken, designed in Scotland that have shown signs of considerable success. So if we can follow the new CFP with funding streams that help with the serious costs involved in changing gears and so on, and dealing with stock movements and so on, and finding out more indeed about what goes on under the sea, I think we will all be winners, and that we will actually eliminate unwanted catches, not just end up with a problem on shore.
So this is going to make an actual real difference for Scotland's fishermen. Is that fair to say, that they will actually see an impact because of this vote, that there will be money going their way?
Well, unfortunately, we're still having arguments across the board about the overall amount of funding that will be available and what it can be used for in the entire EU budget for future years. And we postponed the final vote today on the Fisheries Fund until we have clarity about exactly how much money globally will be available. But yes, it's the theory, the general thrust of the allowance for certain types of activity to be funded, I think was reasonable today. We allowed for the use of this money to diversify. We allowed for the use of this money to market. We allowed for things like quality schemes that we've used European money for successfully in the past, and we allowed for development of alternative types and methods and so on of fishing in order to be more sustainable. So yes, I think it's reasonable that if we, the European Union, says that the CFP is going to have certain objectives, I think it's entirely reasonable that funding should follow some of the extremely expensive implications that will result from that.
And really, the other issue I wanted to ask you about was the battle ahead of this vote, because there was a very hard-fought battle about whether new boats should be subsidised by the European Union. That was fought off largely. How important was that, do you think?
Well, that was very important overall in financial terms, not least because to finance the building of new boats is massively expensive. But mainly, I think that it would have been unfair to expect Scotland to welcome European taxpayers' money being made available to Spanish and French, because they were the ones who wanted this, to build new boats following a period of time when Scottish boats have actually been going out of business. So I don't think that would have been reasonable, given that it's very unlikely that we would have had any look into such a fund. I think that we need to be working hard on ensuring a sustainable financial environment for the boats that we have and for the fishers that we still have around Scotland, and their families and their communities that depend so heavily around our coasts and islands upon fishing as an activity.